Have you ever gotten to a point in your life where you felt tired, you felt depressed, can't get out of bed, hard time overcoming challenges, you're not enjoying life as much as you have? I'll tell you what, those might be signs that you might be overwhelmed. If you've ever felt overwhelmed or you're feeling overwhelmed right now, I want you to make sure that you watch this video. And I want you to make sure that you share it with somebody that needs to hear this. Being overwhelmed is a part of life. I don't want you to go out into your life and expect to avoid all things that are going to overwhelm you. People that never get overwhelmed, they're actually not even pushing hard enough. So being overwhelmed is a part of the journey. But I want to talk to you about that today. Just before I do, if you haven't subscribed to this channel or you haven't, commented or liked this program yet, please make sure you do that. I spend a lot of time and effort putting out great content. I would love to get some feedback from you guys. I'd love for you to share the love so that we can reach a lot of people. Look, everybody gets to a point where they're on the brink of breakdown. I don't know one leader or one mentor that hasn't gotten to a point where they woke up that morning going, today might break me. Today I might fall apart. That's just what life is. If you're gonna play it safe and you're not gonna get into the corners and you're not gonna get your feet wet and you're not really gonna push hard, you're never gonna live that fulfilling life. You're never gonna get to a point where life takes off and you feel that bliss. That's just part of it. I feel overwhelmed all the time. My life is seasons. I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. But here's what I want you to figure out. First of all, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to acknowledge it. You know how many people have a hard time acknowledging they're overwhelmed? Right? We're the super mom, or we're the super entrepreneur. We're the one that everybody goes to. We're the leader, right? We're the leader. We can't feel overwhelmed. People look up to us. We're running a business. We're running a team, running a hockey coach. Maybe we're a teacher, we're leading a class of students. I can't feel overwhelmed. I have people that look up to me. That's a bunch of BS. You can still be a great person and be effective and acknowledge in your quiet moments that you're feeling overwhelmed. I want you to acknowledge it. Write it down. What exactly is overwhelming you? Because sometimes when we get overwhelmed, we pull everything into that pot. We pull this and we pull this and we pull this. What I do when I get overwhelmed is I sit down with a white piece of paper and I start writing out the things that are overwhelming me. And then I really figure out what is one or two things that are really stressing me out. What are those one or two things that are really gonna take me to the brink? And I start with those. I start with fixing those. Here's the next thing I want you to do. I want you to share it with somebody. Talk to somebody. I don't mean necessarily getting a therapist, although you know what? If you need to hire someone to talk to, then go and do it. Mental health is important. But tell somebody, talk to your spouse, talk to a mentor, talk to a friend. Don't go to all your staff and your business partners and tell them how you're feeling. Don't go to the people that you're leading on a daily basis, but talk to some mentors, talk to some people that are on your level, talk to some confidants and let them know by expressing it and speaking it. That's a form of acknowledging it. And what you're doing is you're starting the process of overcoming it. See, we take these things, we bury them. We just get up and we go. We never talk about it. We never acknowledge it. We never share it. We push it down and down and down. We take on more. We take on more. We take on more. And we wonder why sometimes we explode. Sometimes we burn out. Sometimes we get to a point where we're just physically incapable of doing anything for days and weeks and sometimes even months. So I want you to share it with somebody. Talk to them about it. But come from a place of just letting them know, coming from that place of I want to get through it. And then what I like to do is I like to get away from it all. I don't mean quit your business. I don't mean walk away from your relationship, but I like to get away from it all for a time. That might be an afternoon, it might be a day, it might be a weekend. But if you don't step back for a second and hit that pause button, you're never going to be able to rebuild yourself and come back stronger than ever. I talk a lot about fighter pilots and fighter jets and how when they take off, they're getting refueled in the air, right? They're in the air and then there's another plane that comes and refuels it in the air so that they never have to land. Hey, there's times for that. There's times you can recharge and refuel kind of on the go. But in this situation, if you are feeling like you're on the brink, you got to take a step back, take off an afternoon, go to the mountains, put your phone away, talk to your spouse, talk to your kids. Maybe you alone have to get out of town for one night just to regain your thoughts. Because how can you be that super mom? How can you be that super dad, that super entrepreneur? How can you lead your team long term if you're just constantly in the state of being overwhelmed? So I like to get away from it all just for half a day, maybe one day, maybe a day and a half. And sometimes that's with my spouse just to reset. So I want you to acknowledge it. I want you to share it with somebody that you love and care about. And then I want you to get away from it all. Lastly, Here comes the reset. Now you can plan the comeback. Part of the process of getting away from it all is your ability now to sit down with a bit of a clear mind, figure out exactly what's been going on. You've acknowledged it. You've shared it with one or two confidants, and now's the comeback. Now you make the plan. And now you can get excited again, because here's the thing, when you're overwhelmed, when you're in a state of overwhelm, you're not excited. You're tired, you're burnt out. You can't see a year or two down the road. You can barely see till Friday. So by stepping back and getting away from it all and clearing your mind and putting some things down on paper, you can now start to hit the reset. You can now start to plan the comeback. Listen, I talked earlier about seasons. My life, just like your life, is a series of seasons. And I don't know what season that you're in right now, but we're all in a season. Right now, I'm in a season of rebuilding. Look, I've been pushing hard. I've been pushing hard in my business, in my fitness, in my relationship, pushing to be a great dad. And when you push, just like when you push your muscles at the gym, what happens is it creates little tears. And if you don't take a moment to pause and rest, those little tears can't build back as stronger muscle, and it won't allow you to lift more weight. It's the same in life. It's exactly the same thing. So right now, I'm in a season of rebuilding. I'm in a season of rebuilding my mindset and my development to the next level. I have some big goals and dreams, and I've pushed hard over the last 2 or 3 years. But if I can't rebuild myself, my mindset, my personal development, I'm good to nobody. I'll never accomplish that next big goal, that next big dream. I'm rebuilding my brand. I have a great brand, a great social media presence, but guess what? We've been pushing hard. You take half a step back and then you come out of the gate even stronger. I'm making some big moves on my brand. You'll have to stay tuned for that. And lastly, I'm rebuilding, like I talked about, really my mindset, how I think, how I talk to myself. I can't keep asking myself the same questions and expect to get to that next level. So right now, I'm in a season of rebuilding. I think what you're gonna expect and see from me over the next 6, 9, 12 months is something that you've never seen from me before, because those are some expectations that I'm putting on myself. And the only way that I'm gonna accomplish that is if I acknowledge the things that are overwhelming me, I share it with a few people, I take a step back, I reset, I make a game plan, and I come back stronger than ever. That will ensure that I don't lose the love for the game. That's the last thing that I would want for you. So let me ask you a question. What season are you in right now? Are you in explosive growth? Are you in retool? Are you in rebuild? Are you in expansion mode? What season are you in right now? Are you in the season of picking up the pieces because you were shattered? What season are you in? I want you to figure that out so that you know what you need to do to get to that next level. All right, you guys. I hope you guys got some value out of that. If you're feeling like that, it's okay, because I felt like that too. Make sure to share this with your team, give it some love, and I'll see you on the next video.